Coming to you live from the Mistopheles Studios, it's Dark Fringe Radio.
I try to move, but my body won't work. I try to talk, but I lose all words. All that ever slips from my face are teeth and dreams I can't take. Waking from
No,
Maybe like
I know.
a Peterson, outside sweep. What the
They
fuck
wouldn't know
are these
dick.
guys talking about, right?
They wouldn't know dick from dick, guy.
Well, hey, listen. Welcome to Dark Fringe Radio. That's how we're going to start off tonight, man. Hey.
I like it. I like it,
Like
baby.
that, huh? That's good, hey,
I like
right?
it.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
man.
I catch everybody
man.
off guard, man. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us on another edition of Dark Fringe Radio. I am your host, Will Martinez here, and my co-host, Jay Galosi. Jay, what's up, brother?
What's up? Getting ready for some fights. Getting ready for the Super Bowl.
Yes,
Is it sad that
big weekend.
I'm more excited for the fights tomorrow night than I actually am for the Super Bowl?
I am not against that. I actually feel the same way. The Super Bowl, I'm like, really, I don't really give a shit who actually wins or loses that game.
Crazy. It's crazy.
It's not really that crazy because it's just not that really exciting teams. I mean, yes, they're good and everything, but it's just like, I don't know. There's nothing exciting about Kansas City, Missouri,
dislike the Eagles. I openly dislike the Eagles.
and a lot of people dislike the Eagles for whatever
Eagles
reason.
fans
You know?
tend to be repugnant in general, and I'm not trying to be offensive, but y'all throw garbage at Santa, so you have no legs to stand on.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that shit. Who throws garbage at Santa?
The Eagles fans. Simple answer. No,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
You go to the Raiders. Now the Raiders will stab you.
That is true.
They'll leave Santa the fuck alone.
At least you know where
What
you
does that
stand
say?
with them. At least you know where you stand. At least you know
No,
what
you
you're
don't
getting.
stand where on the ground with many countries is where you stand with them.
Well, at least yeah. But
Yeah,
wow.
no, that's
It's a great weekend
Yeah.
for sports. The UFC's on this weekend. A lot of great fights. And then, of course,
Volk.
Super Bowl Sunday. Yep, absolutely. That's going to be a great fight. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff happening over the weekend. It's going to be great. So, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be locked into that stuff, and I hope everybody enjoys. And stay safe. Please drink responsibly. Don't be going out and doing stupid shit and drinking and stuff like that. Get Ubers and shit. Plan responsibly. You know what I mean? Do the things right.
Arrive alive.
And don't cost yourself $15,000 worth of DUI bullshit. So, exciting weekend, Jay. But this tonight we have a very special episode. We're going to be talking about art of the scam, and what I mean by that.
I like this.
Yeah. Listen, it's going to be something a little bit different, more true crime kind of thing. But it's we're going to be talking about the scams that everyday people like you and I, Jay, run into in the world, the real world. And there's a lot of shit out there, and especially a lot of stuff that's geared towards the elder population too. So we'll get into all that stuff here in a little while, but we're going to get into some of the intro stuff here first. But Jay, I want to remind everybody how they can listen to the podcast. They can go straight to our website, darkfringeradio.com. Please go ahead and go there, check it out. Make sure you like and subscribe to all our social media as well, at Dark Fringe Radio on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter and Instagram. So make sure you go there and show your love and support for Dark Fringe Radio by liking and subscribing and doing all that wonderful stuff that everybody asks you to do for all these wonderful podcasts. But we really need it. We really need your support. So, try to go ahead and do that for us. Really appreciate it. All right. That's it for the intro, Jay. I have some Dark Fringe news. You ready to get into it tonight? All right. So let's do it tonight for Dark Fringe news. So, Jay, I'm sure, just like anybody else that I was probably halfway watching the news. You heard about this Chinese spy balloon that got shot down. Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't hear anything about this. What are you talking
about? No, nothing at all, huh?
No, nothing at all. I didn't hear anything about some balloon that flew over the entire continental United States, apparently picking up all kinds of information, but it was just a weather balloon.
Oh, no, it's more than just a weather balloon, my friend.
No shit,
let's get into Yeah. Really crazy stuff. You would never think that something like this would even be going on, like fucking a balloon for real. Like that's like just doesn't
I'm not
seem
surprised.
like something.
No, I'm not surprised.
It
I'm
doesn't
not
seem
surprised
high
at all.
tech to me. You know what I'm saying?
My point. My point.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Right?
Let's
like
go ahead, Jay.
the premise of Down Periscope, right? There's a movie called Down Periscope with Kelsey Grammer.
Yes.
And the whole thing was you take one diesel sub with one really crazy guy and you get through the defensive because it was just so antiquated they couldn't be prepared for some of that shit. Kind of same thing. It was just too easy.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So let's get into the story here, Jay. The Department of Defense on Monday revealed the size of the suspected Chinese spy balloon that the U.S. shot down over the Atlantic over this weekend, and it turns out to be a lot bigger than what the Statue of Liberty is, actually, Jay, which is actually fucking humongous. I mean, when I first saw the fucking pictures, you don't. It's hard to.
No, you don't think
really.
No.
You don't know how big something is by looking at just one picture, and you have nothing else to use as for a frame of reference in the picture. Mm-hmm. So, it says that. It measured over 151 feet tall from the top of its base to its torch. The balloon, which officials said was carrying surveillance equipment, Jay, the size of 3 school buses, and was shut down over the weekend and had been seen flying over the U.S. for several days. It was taken out by the U.S. Airspace at about 2:30 p.m. on Saturday. Officials told CBS that the single air-to-air missile over the Atlantic Ocean off South Carolina's coast was responsible for shooting it down. So, Jay, the Air Force General Glenn Van Herk, commander of the North American Aerospace Defense Command and the U.S. and Northern Command, revealed Monday that the actual balloon was up 200 feet tall and it was carrying a payload the size of a jet airliner. So it was carrying all this type of
anything.
Right? That's crazy when you really think about it, because a jet airliner is fucking pretty big, and it's carrying something like that that's trying to gather information. It's amazing that you're right.
Where jet airliners tend to go.
Right, yeah. So it's also said that it probably weighed in excess of a couple of 1,000 pounds. So from a safety standpoint, picture yourself with large debris weighing hundreds of, not thousands of pounds, falling out of the sky. That's really what we're talking about here, quote unquote. So a senior Biden administration official confirmed to CBS News on Tuesday that the U.S. intelligence community believes that the balloon was part of an aerial surveillance program run by the People's Liberation Army out of Henan. The Washington Post was the first to report this development. So, Jay, there you go. It says it's
World War III, y'all.
Using balloons, though, Jay. Come on, that's crazy, right?
Is it though, or is it so smart because it's just really simple?
I guess. I mean, it is super simple, really.
Okay, so really, even once you realize what it's doing, right? How do you stop it? You're gonna shoot it down. You're gonna have to make sure that wherever it lands, it doesn't land on something important. You have to find a nice open space. And the entire time while you're trying to figure out how you're going to stop it, it's taking all that data and it's zipping it right back to them. It's not like it's back in the old days where they had to like pigeon flyer at home or some shit. It's not, we're way past the whole.
Right. Yeah. But obviously not with a balloon.
Whatever it sees, they seize.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey,
so what are you gonna do?
You know what?
Can't get a helicopter up there and tie a string to it. It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. And there was concerns of actually shooting it down, Jay, because a lot of people were saying that, hey, we don't know what the fuck is actually inside the balloon. It could be carrying some kind of virus, especially during these, day and ages now with what we're dealing with as far as pandemics are concerned. Yeah. So it's like, it's a kind of a double-edged sword. Like, I can understand why there was a hesitation to shoot it down at first, because there was. At first, they didn't pull the trigger. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, think about it. You don't know what you're shooting down, and you don't want to be fucking subjecting the people, to whatever's in that balloon.
God,
who knows? And it being the size of what it's saying it is, the Statue of Liberty. Yeah, no, that it was carrying a payload below that, but the actual balloon itself was the size of the Statue of Liberty. Think about that. So the Statue of Liberty carrying a fucking jet airliner at the bottom. That's what it basically was the size of. Falling. Yeah,
free
exactly.
Falling. And nothing you can do about it. Wherever it's going to land, it's going to land. No, you can't. That's so my point. It seems so simple, but it's fucking genius. I mean,
it kind of is in a way, right?
Yeah. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
They got us on this
Well,
one.
they got us on that one. Well, listen, I mean, China has claimed that the balloon was a weather device, quote unquote,
Right.
and it said that the U.S. had an overreaction to it.
Right.
But Van Herrick said Monday to the officials that we have good indication that it was a surveillance balloon from the beginning. So that's yeah. They're claiming a weather balloon. Hey, we've been claiming weather balloons for a long time here, Jay.
Yeah,
with a lot of UFO sightings, right?
Wasn't it Chuck Yeager in the U2 wasn't he just supposedly doing weather stuff? Wasn't that what we told them? Yeah.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh Lord. Well,
come on.
Yeah, Jay.
Look, with it's just how you play the game.
It is. It really is. It is. What do they call it? Geopolitical. Politics or whatever they call it. You know what I mean? Just going back and forth and doing shit like.
Dick
I mean, because really,
let's call it dick
I mean, no. Let's call a spade here, there, Jay. At the end of the day, we know that we're spying on them. They know that, exactly. It's all we already know this already. It's just now it's like out in the open there. It's kind of blatant there. You know what I mean? It was just like, I don't know.
It's just the first time we've caught them doing it. That's all.
Well, supposedly they said there was a couple more that happened a couple years ago that wasn't reported to the news. So
yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, Jay. Yeah. Who knows?
All right, well.
Who knows what the fuck's going on with these balloons and these Chinese people and sending
to be fair and honest and to be real.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the top of our priority list of things to really be concerned about. I think there's things like, I don't know, global warming.
There's a lot of stuff going on right now.
Viruses,
Yeah.
Historically low water,
Yeah.
There's earthquakes, places there normally aren't earthquakes. All kinds of just weird shit happening.
A lot of weird shit, especially in the sky.
Just saying.
You don't know what we're talking about last week. Check out our fucking episode last week. It's that spiral that we saw, in Hawaii. That was pretty interesting, huh?
It's crazy shit.
Yeah, man. Well, Jay, that's a good end to that one for Dark Fringe News. But I have one more that I wanted to get into. And this one actually came out of Florida here, Jay. I didn't even realize it came out of Florida until after I started reading it. But a woman was arrested for killing her terminally ill husband at a Florida hospital. You ready for this one?
Sure. It seems so upbeat.
Yeah, I know.
Chipper.
Police say they arrested an elderly woman. I know. Police say they arrested an elderly woman after she killed her terminally ill husband at a Daytona Beach, Florida hospital Saturday as part of a pact the pair made weeks beforehand. She soon could be charged with first-degree murder. Apparently, he was terminally ill, and they had a conversation about it, and they actually planned this approximately about 3 weeks ago here, Jay. If he continued to take a turn for the worse, the Daytona Beach police Jakari Young said at the press conference he wanted her to end this. So the authorities received an alert about the shooting on the 11th floor of the Advent Health Daytona Beach Hospital around 11:45 a.m. on Saturday. After the 76-year-old woman shot her 77-year-old husband in the head, police said the hostage negotiation with the woman had subsided, and they were actually able to get her out of there without her harming herself. They used a flash bang grenade to distract her. They're unsure how the woman was. I know. Yeah, it just got worse and worse.
Wow.
Yeah, they had to use a flashbang grenade, Jay. But woman was able to. They're still trying to figure out how the woman was able to bring a gun into the hospital. By the way, I could tell you exactly how they got her into the hospital. Exactly how. Yeah, that's very horrible. Fucking security at hospitals. Yeah, I'm sure she had it in her fucking pocketbook. You know what I mean, or purse. Anyways, during the negotiations, the authority learned that the original plan would be to involve the husband shooting both himself and his wife, who Young described as being in a depressed state. However, the wife took over after they realized he was too weak to do it himself. Initially, I thought the plan was a murder-suicide, Young said, so she killed him, and she was going to turn the gun on herself, and she couldn't go through with it. Authorities partially evacuated the other patients on the 11th floor, which is typically reserved for terminally ill cases. Women will be transported to Volusia County Jail in Daytona Beach. Young told the reporters that the incidents like this are unfortunately common, particularly during the holiday season. It's a tragic circumstance, Young said, and it shows that none of us are immune to the trials and tribulations of life. So, yeah, not so upbeat on that one. It's pretty bad, but that's these things happen, and we don't talk about them that often. You know what I mean? And it's just like there's something to be said.
Terrible.
I know, but there is something to be said about those things, like where you can go through euthanasia and stuff like that if you're terminally ill and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And go through a process like that if you know that there's no way you're going to beat it. You know what I mean? You can go through a process of just ending your own life at whatever time.
Well, I mean,
what do you think about that, Jay?
Well, I mean, listen, I think that it's a tough subject to cross, for sure.
Of course it is.
But my grandfather had he was diagnosed with cancer, with lung cancer, from being an electrician and working around asbestos. Right, he was one of the first cases to come to be found that was kind of what was happening. He was one of the first ones in Florida, and he could have gone through
good old mesothelioma.
Yep. Before we knew what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. So my grandfather, having all these options, chose not to. He actually said, I don't want to be a burden on anybody. Just go ahead and let me die. I'm good.
Right.
That's a fucking man right there. Because I'd have been like, meds, yes, please, check right here. Where do you want us to take them? Anywhere in the pee hole. Okay, what if that means I can see tomorrow? Yeah, whatever you need. But exactly. No, I think if someone is really terminal, I also know there are ways, as people are winding down, there are ways to make sure they go on. A lot of neighbor recently kind of go that way. She was done, and she had a lot of things going wrong, and they just kind of allowed her to go out nice and comfortable. I think if that's what it is, then there should be no shame in allowing people to kind of go in a very comfortable state. But I can understand how slippery a slope that is, and why it's something that it's hard to get sanctioned or follow through with.
Yeah, no, I understand too. There's a lot of red tape involved in that, and there's, of course, legalities and lawsuits get involved and all that stuff. I understand. So, it's a tough subject, and it's just sad to see stuff like this happen. But hopefully we can learn from this and kind of figure out a solution for something like this. Because again, I think if we're able to do something like that with a situation like this, where you already know the patient is terminally ill and they're not going to make it, why should we have to lose another person who's perfectly healthy? You know what I mean? Because of a pact. It just doesn't seem right.
Yeah. Now, see, in this case, she did bring a loaded weapon into a hospital and endangered a lot of other people, and somehow.
Listen, she could have hit the oxygen fucking line and fucking things that have blown up the whole hospital, right?
There's so many awful things that could have gone. I mean, just the bullet could have ricocheted in a funny way and hit a fucking innocent bystander and killed them. I mean, I understand. And again, part of the issue is the fact that those things that come by, the human euthanasia or ways, it can be hard to find, and obviously for obvious reasons. It's a lot of obvious.
Right. Obviously. Yeah, there's a lot of obviouses.
Yeah, that was obvious.
You're very obvious there, Jay.
Yeah, obviously I am. They call me Captain Obvious. So, fucking nice. Anyway, but you still don't bring a fucking loaded weapon just because some pack. No. I mean, listen, I would love to say, I'm in the pack, and that's, through to the end. If you say you're going to do something, you say you're going to do something. There's a line.
There's a line. Yeah. No, I get it, bro. I understand 100%. Yeah, it's an interesting situation, sadly, out of Volusia County. And, my heart goes to everybody there and that whole family. You know what I mean? It's just, no, to that family, definitely, because it's a tough situation now. They have to deal with not only a dead relative, now they have to worry about a relative now who's going to go to jail now for the rest of her life.
Prison, not jail.
Yeah. Prison. That's right, Jay. So
prison. Unless they somehow let her off for a plea of insanity or stupidity.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Florida. It's possible. Anything's possible.
Well, her age, they'll take that into a factor. You know what I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? She's 60 something.
Maybe.
How old is she? Did they say again? I can't remember.
Maybe not. It
maybe
depends.
not. Who knows?
Maybe
Who
not.
knows?
It depends. She endangered a lot of lives.
She did. So, well, Jay, that's a wrap for Dark Fringe News. Let's get into your section of the woods, which is What the F Florida Man. And for those that are not familiar with What the F Florida Man, this is where Jay scours the internet for a very long time and looks for the most interesting stories that come out of this great state of Florida. So, Jay, what do you have for this week for What the F Florida Man?
Well, friends, just to let you know exactly how much time I spend scouring the internet for this evening's story. I mean, it was the very first thing I pulled up. Very first thing. Okay.
It was that good, Jay?
No lie.
Yeah. No lie, right?
Very first thing. It literally, and it was probably 2 minutes before the show.
There you go.
I fucked more with my lighting than I did looking for this Florida man. But I had a feeling I was going to find something.
There we go.
I don't know why.
There we go.
I don't know why.
It doesn't take much for Florida.
It really doesn't. It's usually honestly that's the usual. I usually just go most recent Florida man story, and the first one that pops up is generally good enough. Every now and then you gotta watch out. There's some sad ones, and then they sneak it in on you. It sounds really funny. And the next thing you know, it's like, bam!
3 people died.
Ate the old lady's boob.
Right?
Like, yeah. Well, no, that's not funny.
I don't want to talk about that. Yeah. We just talked about this old couple of euthanasia. Yeah, well, come on.
This one should pick us up from there. I was trying to move on from that lane.
Let's do it. Come on, brother. What do we got?
Topic: naked Florida man with machete accused of trying to steal another man's clothes.
Well, yeah, that's what you need when you're naked. So it's another man's clothes. I guess that's what it comes down to. Wow, Jay. All right, let's go this one.
Florida.
Oh,
DeLand, Florida. A naked Florida man who was armed with machete had illegally tried to steal another man's clothes and was arrested Monday morning at a gas station, according to the Volusia County Sheriff. Welcome back, Volusia.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Volusia being highlighted a lot this week here, Dark.
Yes, absolutely.
Shortly before 10 a.m., deputies arrived near the Volusia County Fairgrounds after a surveyor working the area said they had identified the 34-year-old named Brandon Wright, who suddenly approached him with a large machete-style knife and demanded his clothes, wallet, and phone. When the surveyor began to comply with Wright's demands, Wright reportedly threw the machete at him, along with a handful of palmetto berries before taking off into the brush. He didn't even take the fucking machete with him into the bushes.
No, wow. This guy must have been high.
I mean, you gotta be careful with the machete and your ding hanging out, but Jesus.
This guy must have been high.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. Deputies said that the handle of the machete had bounced off the surveyor's chest, leaving him uninjured. Moments later, Wright's vehicle was found where he was on the ground with his hands prepared for the police.
Okay. So it's
weird.
That's weird, dude.
So
he's
weird.
Naked out in the fucking
down the bush
woods
with a machete and a handful of palmetto berries.
What was he doing with that? What was he going? Yeah, he was doing some meth, man. That was some good methamphetamines that he cooked up earlier.
Hell yeah.
And he thought those fucking palmetto berries were grenades.
Fucking salts, dog. He threw a machete at homeboy.
And he thought the machete was like this.
Give me your clothes. Give me your clothes, your wallet, and your phone. Okay, man, here you go. No.
Oh.
Fuck you, Jerry.
Yeah. Here's some grenades.
Right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, listen. This is a problem here in Florida, man. These guys did they just get high and do the most fucking odd things, man? It's amazing. I mean,
it really is.
What person in their right mind does something like that? I mean, I know there's
not in the right mind, guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know there's mental illness out there, but no, this is like above and beyond that. This is like definitely under the influence.
Well, this is the chemicals interacting with chemicals in the brain, making you see things that aren't there, and feel things that aren't around.
Right.
And you're on the edge.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I quote Lawrence Taylor, don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs, kid. That's fucking great. Yeah. Wow. So that's a great What the F Florida Man, Jay. Thank you so much for that for this week for What the F Florida Man. We really appreciate it very much. That's going to bring us to our main topic for tonight. We're going to take a quick break. So make sure you stick around and hang on for the art of the scam. We're going to go ahead into different scams that you guys should definitely be watching out for, things that we've seen throughout our life. So we're going to be talking about that here in a second. So make sure you don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Meth brought you forbidden fruits of incest. Bath salts brought you the taboo joys of cannibalism. It's time to step things up a level. The hot new legal high that takes you to places you never imagined and leaves you forever changed. Toilet cleaner. It's time to smoke a real bowl. Available at your local head shop, or in case of overzealous local laws, buy it online.
Fleesa means convenience like never before. Soon, you'll always be within 50 feet of a Fleesa Bank ATM. We won't stop until we're on every corner in Los Santos, Liberty City, and every other major metropolitan area. But why stop there? We're putting Fleesa ATMs everywhere. The dentist office, family planning clinics, adult novelty shops, funeral homes, and children's wards. Call today and we'll even put an ATM in your bedroom to spice things up. Stop by Fleesa Bank and learn more about our range of services that weren't possible until we lobbied for deregulation. Fleesa, credit cards, banking, brokerage. It's time to start paying for everything.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming back to Dark Fringe Radio. We really appreciate it. Tonight we're going to be talking about art of the scam. And what we mean by that is we're going to be talking about all these different scams, Jay, that are out there that people are falling for every single day, what to watch out for that's going on right now, and how to avoid some of these things here, Jay. I want to start this whole thing off here so that way we can kind of get a forward momentum on this this topic. But there's a lot of scams out there, Jay, and there's a lot of people who are being taken advantage on a daily basis, and we're talking about millions of dollars. There's certain scams that are responsible for billions of dollars, Jay. We're talking about credit card scams and things of that nature, but we're going to be talking about some more specific kind of things that are out there that I'm sure some of you people have either witnessed or heard about from third party, or maybe even dealt with yourself. And so first thing I want to talk about, Jay, is the tampered gift card scam. So this is a big thing that's been going around for some time now. I didn't even know about this one. This one actually makes sense, and it took me a little bit by surprise, but didn't really actually when you really think about it. But this particular scam, according to the BBB, thieves are now printing their own barcodes, Jay, and placing them over the real ones on these gift cards. So that what happens is when you activate them and the money goes into the account, it doesn't actually go into the account that it's supposed to. It goes into the scanned account because that's when they scan the actual fucking gift card and then you pay for it. So that's what happens. Yep. So that's a big thing that's happening, and a lot of people are losing a lot of money because of it. And this one can do. It's super easy too. Then you wouldn't even think about it. How many times have you bought a gift card? You just picked it up and said, "Okay, yeah, it's a $50 gift card. That's exactly what I want," and that's it. You didn't even think about looking at it or inspecting it or anything like that, right? Yeah. So there's things you could do to avoid getting scanned by this here, Jay. And so first, of course, is to look at the package. Look at it. Make sure that it hasn't been damaged, hasn't been altered in any way. Try to get a gift card that's maybe closer to the back of the pile. That's usually always a good technique or trick. And then always ask for a gift receipt. So that can always, you can always get your money back if something kind of happens there and it doesn't go into the account that it's supposed to. So, Jay, so that's one of these, these little scams that anybody can be taken advantage of, in that situation. It doesn't matter if you're old, young, you know what I mean? It doesn't really particularly matter. It doesn't, how they say, discriminate as far as, who they're targeting. But there's also some that do. Okay. And there's also one particular scam. It's called the Amazon email scam. This one's interesting here, Jay, because this one's actually there's a lot of working parts to this one. And this is how it works.
Hit me.
Jay, you're 65 years old, let's just say. Okay.
Some days I feel it.
Right. You look at your email and all of a sudden you get an email from Amazon.
AOL. Oh yeah.
AOL. It could be AOL too. Amazon. Let's just say it's Amazon. Saying that you have a pending charge of $499 and whatever odd cents, 36 cents. But you can call this number here below, and we can stop this transaction from happening. Has the Amazon logo, has everything, looks like perfect. You know what I mean? Looks legit. So what happens is most people would go into it. Maybe. I don't know. Me, I know I wouldn't. But that's just because I've seen them and I know a lot of these things that happen. But there's a lot of people that probably would go into that and say, hey, listen, I want to call that number to see if I can get my money back. So I don't want to be charged for $499, right?
100%.
Right. So part two of the scam comes into play. So they call this number. This number happens to be a call center somewhere in most likely India.
No.
And these guys are on the phone with them, and they start to groom basically the caller, saying that they're actually Amazon support. They actually say that they're, Harold Johnson at Amazon support. My ID number is da 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 da. They actually make it sound so legit, Jay, that you're actually thinking that you're talking to Amazon, right? So they said, "Oh, we're going to help you with getting your refund, this and that. We just need to log into your system and see if we can go ahead and get the charges reversed and put it back into your account."
Yeah, it's not happening.
They ask you, "Hey, are you near? Do you have a laptop or a desktop computer?" Yeah, sure. Can you log into your laptop? Sure.
I take it over.
This is where it starts. Step 3 of the whole scam. Here we go. Once the person gets into their laptop or desktop, the scammer asks them, hey, I need you to go to this website and I need you to download this link. You go ahead and download this link. The link is actually a link usually probably called AnyDesk or some of these other programs that can give the other person access to your computer, basically.
Yep.
Yeah. So they say, oh, yeah, we're going to access your account. This is the way to do it. They make it sound like this is like nothing unusual. They make you download this app and this software. And next thing you know, they have access to your computer. Then they ask you to go into your bank account. And this is step 4 of the scam. Right. So you log into, let's say, Jay, your Chase banking account, right? You're 65 years old. You don't want to be fucking charged for this. You're thinking you're doing all the right things. You're going through all the steps, and you're just digging yourself into a worse hole, unfortunately. So what happens is they ask you to go ahead and go into your bank account. You go into your bank account. They said, okay, we're gonna go ahead and make sure this transaction goes through, but we need you to send $50 to us to make sure that your account is valid. Okay. Yep. This is a scam, right?
I know.
So as soon as you start putting in the 50, right before you hit submit, they actually edit the page and they add 2 extra zeros to it. So if you have $50,000 in your account and they put those 2 extra zeros in there, all of a sudden you just transferred $50,000 to their account. And then that's where the scam, that's how it works. And then you're fucked. And it's a bad situation at that point. So that's the Amazon email scam, Jay. And
there's also one. Have you heard about there's the Apple game scam? You'll get an email. It's kind of similar. You'll get an email and it'll say that thank you for your purchase of such a game for like $8. It's like this one game for like $8. And it's always this weird crystal chick game. But when you go to like, I don't want to, it's not mine. It asks you to put in your social security number.
Yep. Oh,
and your Apple ID. And I'm like, oh, no. So, I mean, clearly, before you go putting in any of that information, just go make sure that it's not on your phone.
Right.
If the data's not there, you ain't got to worry about it. But that was easy for me to figure out.
Right.
When it becomes tricky is my mom, like we're talking, who's in her mid-60s.
Mm-hmm.
She had called me and she was very concerned with it because it said, downloaded, but shit's on her phone and she can't find it to delete it because she doesn't want the charges. And had she not called me, had she gone through with trying to make sure she would have put in her social security number and she would have been completely fucked for probably the remainder of her life.
100%. And there's another scam, Jay. When my mom was still around, last year, she actually, it was like literally a month before she passed, and she called me in a panic, and I was like, "What's wrong?" And she's acting like in a panic. She's like, "Oh, I just got this call." I'm like, well, "Okay, what did it say?" That my social security card number was used somewhere in the border of Texas, and now I have a warrant for my arrest. And I need to call this number and so I can send them money so that way they could, release my bond or whatever like that, and this and that and the other. I was like, Mom, don't even fall. That's a huge another one too,
huge one,
because that one makes you fucking feel like you're a fucking criminal and you need to do something right about it, like
or you're gonna be a criminal,
right? So that's
you're gonna feel like that because something's been was out of your control, and you want to get that. It would be the right thing to do if you were in that situation. The problem is. You're not in that actual situation.
So as we were talking about how some of these scams, target certain people, this particular scam is targeted towards Latin people because they use Latin people's last names. Rosa Martinez, William Martinez. They'll say, "Oh, your name was used in the border of such and such place, Arizona, Texas, Nevada. Pick your southern border state here, insert there." And you know what I mean? And then they play off of that emotion that you're going to be in trouble because of something happening. So yeah, I mean, that one was particularly like discerning because I was just like, man, that's pretty fucked up. You know what I mean? Like I
had one that was from the IRS. It said it was from the IRS.
Oh yeah, that's a classic one.
I was going to be audited, and I was like, whatever. and I had those feelings. When I was looking at the number, I'm like, why don't I just double check this?
Yeah.
And sure enough, it was a different number to actually try to reach out to the IRS. And that's when I was like, all right, clearly this is just fucked. There's no reason. I've gotten, they'll call you with that. This is so-and-so from the IRS.
Right.
We have your social security. We have your social security number here. It was used, or we're auditing your social security number to make sure there's no malfeasance. Because right now it looks like you are, you're going to owe $50,000, something along those lines. And then I say, but we want to make sure we're talking to the right Jay Galosi. What's your social security number? And then you give me social security number. They name your social security number. Bang.
Yeah.
And you just gave it to him.
How about that? Yeah, man. There's so many things out there, and there's scams in almost everything, Jay. Almost everything. I literally not too long ago, I was selling some stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Yes, Marketplace.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
And that's the area of Facebook where you can sell, items, obviously, and things like that. You could buy stuff off of there too. You know what I mean? There's a lot of shit. There you go. So yeah, there you go. So I was trying to do that not too long ago, and I started getting requests from these people saying, "Hey, I want to purchase this item, but I can only do it through Zelle." And I was like, okay. I don't know if I want to do that. And then the person was like, I want to send you a Google verification text and just reply to it. And what this person was doing basically was trying to gain access to my cell phone and all the information in it by doing the Zelle transaction. And I was like, holy shit. And I looked it up right before I did it. And good thing I looked it up because I was going to do it. And I was like, you know what? Something's telling me, no, don't do this. And I looked it up and sure as shit, I was like, yep, this is a fucking scam. And next thing I know, I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm not going to send you anything through Zelle. If you want to buy it, you can buy it, cash on the pickup, whatever. And I didn't hear a thing after. So yeah, that's another one. It's a Facebook marketplace scam. You got to watch out because what they'll do is they'll ask you, they'll say, to make sure that I can send you the money, I need to do a Google verification thing, and I'll send you the thing. And the next thing you know, you get a text message saying, "Oh, do you want this person to access your Google verification?" And you want to say no. Yeah. So yeah, man, scams after scams. Jay,
How about this?
Go ahead, Jay.
How about this one? I got one for you. Speaking about Facebook Marketplace, since I bought my car off of Facebook Marketplace, and I've gotten into the forums and such. I'm a nerd, I'll admit.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But people sell parts. They sell, I sold the entire interior that I didn't need all on Facebook Marketplace. But what some of these individuals will do is they'll go on something, they'll take a picture, they'll post it up, claim it as theirs. Someone needs this part, and because they don't actually have the part, they'll offer it for half of what it's worth. Here's this $500 part. It's gonna be $150 just because I need it gone. So somebody who's not as involved or doesn't do the research, I'll take it.
And I'm getting a deal. And I'm getting a deal.
PayPal me. Yep. Just go ahead and PayPal me. Here's the thing. And then you PayPal them, and then you never get the part, or you never get and they ghost you, so you can never get your money back.
Yep.
Fucking asshole.
Another PayPal scam, huh?
Fucking assholes. All of them.
So another one, Jay, is the student loan scam. This is another one as of recent, because of the government's student loan forgiveness plan. This one, a lot of people are falling for. And it seems like crooks are taking advantage of the confusion of the actual government student loan forgiveness plan. The scammers are calling people, Jay, claiming they can help get rid of their debt for a fee, of course. So they're going to say, "Oh, we're going to get rid of your debt. There's a small nominal fee, but we're going to get rid of your debt." Yeah. Some are even using a supposed robocalls, using a voice that sounds like President Joe Biden. So, like, all of a sudden, you're thinking it's Joe Biden, but it's not.
Yeah. Joe Biden will call you.
Yeah, like Joe Biden's going to call you about your fucking student loan. How to avoid it? It's pretty simple. Use common sense, Jay, and something like this. Yeah, the government's forgiveness plan, you can look it up. Just go to their website. So ignore calls from anyone claiming to be the government or employee that requires payment to forgive a student loan. They're never going to do that. It'll never come through a fucking phone call. They don't do it that way.
I'm not a student loan, so fuck it.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So, but if you do, and you're starting getting these calls, just know that the government's not going to be calling you for figuring out how to do a loan forgiveness or payment for that. They're just not going to do it. So it's just bullshit. Yeah. Another one, Jay. This one's a big one, and this one's actually kind of scary. This one is called virtual kidnapping. This one is really interesting because the director of public relations and outreach for the BBB of Mid-South, this guy's named Daniel Irwin, he said that his office got 8 reports of virtual kidnapping in 2022, and they expect that the number will rise this year significantly. He says that they also heard of the calls that are truly frightening. Essentially, you get a call from somebody, and all you hear on the other end is "Mommy" or "Daddy, help me," and screaming sound, and eventually you get off around some scary person saying on the phone, "We'll tell you everything that we're going to do if you want your child to live," and just immediately send some Bitcoin and some other form of payment, and we'll let your child go. Oddly enough, Jay, it's usually 85% of the time that they give the money back or give money to these scammers, it's usually the men, the fathers. Interesting. Yeah. So,
that makes sense.
Yeah, this virtual kidnapping thing is very not random, because these people, they actually figure out people that actually have kids that would be the age they would be kidnapped. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you're a guy that's 50 something, you have kids that are 25, 26, 30, you know what I mean? Chances of them being kidnapped, slim to, none, you know what I mean? But if you're younger, you have kids that are 7, 8, 9, you know what I mean? That's a little bit scary, and you're going to fucking panic. You know what I mean? Any fucking father or mother would panic. Yeah, that virtual kidnapping, Jay. I mean, Jesus Christ, could you imagine something like that?
Could you imagine if you don't have those kids?
Exactly.
Right? You don't have kids, and suddenly you're hearing that. Those aren't your kids, but now here's this responsibility. What are you going to do?
Well, yeah. But it wouldn't happen that way because they actually target the people that actually have kids, and they know. But no, that's at the same time too. You're like, holy shit, what am I supposed to do? Imagine if they called an old person with kids, like saying they're just kids like that. You know what I mean? They're gonna freak out. You know what I mean? So, how to avoid it, Jay? Don't be fooled by calls with commotion and screaming in the background. It's actually a red flag that the caller is a scammer. Another red flag is the fact that the crooks ask for payment in the form of crypto. That's a very suspicious way of getting money. Hard to trace. It's very simple. Again, we all know why crypto is crypto. Another scam making the rounds. Is the online purchase scams. Using online purchase scams make up 40% of all scams reported to the BBB. So, purchase scams is exactly what you're talking about, Jay. People selling stuff that they're not going to, give, obviously, things that are not what they are, especially if you see misspellings of the description of the item. A lot of times that is a huge indicator of something that's not what it is that you're going to be getting. You know what I mean? So, very interesting thing that's been happening, which is that type of scam as well. Jay, in your day-to-day life, you have a 9 to 5. Do you have any scammers that you run into as far as the work that you're involved in?
With my work, I mean, because I work with kids, so you'll have a various different kinds. You have companies that will offer you one thing, but then never really follow through with it. The simple scam. The simple. Well, it's not even simple. It's the day-to-day scam, right? It's the things like
you're gonna pay me for something that I'm not gonna follow through.
We're gonna waive a membership fee, that they never charge anyways.
Yeah, right.
Or the real trick you actually got to watch out for, the one that I was involved most unfortunate with. I was with the company that the refund policy was 30 business days. And a lot of times what happened is that person would forget about that refund and it would never get sent.
So because they put it out there for that amount of time, the length, a lot of people wouldn't even just think about it, and they would just kind of be out of sight, out of mind, and they would forget about it. And these people are just getting away with not refunding people. Wow.
And never follow up and losing hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Hundreds of dollars.
Well, that initially, I'm sure thousands of dollars, cumulatively, right?
Well, so you're talking at that particular place, if you signed up for a session or a term, whatever, it was a 40-week term. We did, it was a school year. It was really how it was kind of set up. So for that school year, it was like $900 to come to one class a week. And what happened is if people wanted to cancel, they'd be like, all right, we'll send you the remainder of your money in 30 business days, which is 35 calendar days, because Saturdays and Sundays, the post office isn't, you can't mail a check on a Saturday or Sunday. It's
right.
2023. Although this was 10 years ago. Fair enough. Fair point. But it was still only 10 years ago. It just, people forget. And then, so you're talking, if you have 4 people that are owed $500 in refund, it's $2,000 extra revenue that really it doesn't belong to you.
That's right. Absolutely right.
It's petty theft, and it's done just because the attention span of people is short. And it's a scam that it's so subtle, it's so subdued that it's just kind of, it's part of the ebb and flow. And all of us kind of to somewhat do it. I mean, how many of us probably have subscriptions? How many times do you hear about these apps that will delete all of these extra subscriptions? And they're great because I don't know how many subscriptions to things I have that I probably don't even use. There's
Right.
just money out of my bank account that
just being wasted constantly. Yeah, on a monthly basis. Right. Yeah, it's really interesting that that things like those like common scams, they're still prevalent to this day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
it's crazy.
it's just because, and it's all due to just complacency by the consumer, because most people are just not going to like be on top of it like that. You know what I mean? And then the greedy people are going to take advantage of that. Of course, yeah, absolutely, 100%. You know, it's funny, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
Good. No, good.
Yeah, no. I was going to say, you know, in mine 9 to 5, you know, I've been in the specialty finance business for a long time, for 20 years now.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing that I've witnessed as far as a scam is concerned is I was with this one financial institution, and let me tell you, Jay, they got hacked somehow. I don't know. I believe it was through an email. One of those phishing scams where somebody sends an email with a link, and somebody at the office opens the email, they open the link, and then that's it. All hell breaks loose. So supposedly, this pretty much I know for a fact that the scammers were from Ukraine or Russia, one of the two, and basically locked the entire system out. So nobody was able to get into the database. Nobody was able to get into anything. And it was encrypted by a password key that nobody had except for them, because they're the ones who locked it up. So it was basically their system was held up for ransom for $40,000, Jay.
Jesus, man.
Yeah. So they paid the $40,000. I actually talked to the person who had the conversation with the people over the phone making the transaction. And their response to me was that they were surprised at how professional the whole process was. They were like, "Oh,
they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing." They're like, "Yeah, we got the key. We'll give you the key. We'll just need $40,000. You wire us or ACH debit the money to this account, and we'll send you the key, and you'll have your accounts back. Everything will be open for you." And exactly right there, they did it. And next, access to everything back again. But it took this company, Jay, $40,000 out of their own pocket that they were not expecting to pay to get the access back. Their own shit back, basically.
Their own shit.
Yeah, Jay, that's fucking crazy, man. You're basically taking hostage for your own stuff that you own rightfully. People suck, man. People suck,
bro.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it just, to me, it's just like, it's wild, and that's in our professional lives, Jay. Let's talk about our regular lives, our day to day outside of work. Everybody has their things that they do. Everybody has their, let's just say, things hobbies? They like to do. Yeah. Hobbies, things they like to do to, spend time and pass the time. For you, Jay, what's that?
It's crack.
No. Most people would think the way that how much fucking energy that you have, but no, I can attest to you.
Yeah, and what's funny is, guys, just and I know you're seeing me drink a Monster this evening, which you often don't see at this time of night. But to be honest, William will tell you, I'll fall asleep drinking these things.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I'm like,
it's the weirdest thing.
Just natural.
It's so weird. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. What ADHD?
But, yeah. Well, Jay, you play pool. That's what you do. Yeah, you shoot pool. And I'm sorry. I should say that more properly. You shoot pool. And I'm sure there's a lot of scams. I know there's a lot of scams in the pool game.
Always. I'll tell it. I'll give you
give us a couple. Give us a couple.
Funny story. The easiest one, and friends, just to help you avoid this problem, because I don't know how many people have lost $100 this way. It's a quick, easy way to lose $100.
Yeah.
You have somebody will put the full cue across the table. They'll take the cue ball, the white ball, and they'll roll it into the stick, because the ball can't roll onto the stick on top of the table. And what they'll do is they'll bet you $100 that they can roll that ball underneath that stick. And you're watching them do it. And it's a carnival trick. But a lot of times people think, it's a quick, easy way. I mean, and then they roll the ball under the table. It's an easy scam, and you'll walk right into it. I was actually going to shoot pool with my dad one night with him and his buddies.
He saw somebody fall victim to this, Jay?
Well, no, somebody tried to put it on me.
Oh, they tried to do it on you, huh?
I walked in with my cues. It was one of the rare times I brought my cues to my dad's bar. I never brought my cues to my dad's bar. I always played with any banana off the fucking wall because otherwise this is unfair. It was still unfair. Anyway, I'm a douche. So, but I'm really good at pool. So I walk in and this guy's doing it. And he doesn't know that my dad is my dad. He doesn't know that we're related. So I walk in. I'm a young guy. I'm probably in my early 30s at that point. And he's like, hey, kid. He goes, I bet you $50 I can roll this ball underneath this cue. And I was like, I got cues on my back, guy. It's not my first time at pool. You're just going to roll them underneath the fucking table. Right. And he's like, oh, we got a pool hustler here. Oh, we got a shark. He leans into my dad, not knowing it's my dad. And just so you guys know, if I were to hold up a picture of my father, we were
spitting image. Identical. Yeah, spitting image. Okay? Yeah. You
really don't have to look that hard to know I'm related to my father. Just listen to us talk. I mean, fuck. Yeah. I really am a spitting image of the poor man. So he leans in my dad. He's like, Jay, he goes, this guy's been a pool. I was like, all right, pool hustler's like, how about we play a game of 9 for $100? I was like, go, let's do that. And he leans into my dad again. He goes, Jay, he goes, I got the kid on the hook for $100. And my dad goes, I got $100 on the kid.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy stops putting his shit together, starts taking his shit apart, puts all, and leaves.
Oh.
And I'm like, Dad, what the fuck? And my dad's like, well, I was trying to make $100.
He was trying to piggyback on that shit. Yeah.
Because my dad was also a pretty decent pool player. So the second my dad bet against the guy was no part of whatever.
He's like, this is a setup.
Yeah, just trying to.
This is a setup.
It was a setup.
It was a setup, though. It was. It
wasn't. But what happened was the guy that was trying to set me up and my dad tried to set him up. And ruined the damn shit.
It was a double reversal.
Tried a double reversal.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, man, that's a good one. Yeah, fucking pool people, man. They're hustlers, man. They're fucking hustlers, man. What's another one?
Or how about this, right?
Yeah.
You'll have somebody and they'll bet you that they can chug a beer before you fire down 2 shots. Okay?
Right.
So you'll have 2 shots, they'll have 2 beers. And the deal will be that they can't touch your glass and you can't touch their glass. Right? Because you're telling you don't knock it over and do all make me drink the shit off the table. It's gross. You can't it's unfair. So I can't touch yours, but you can't touch mine. And okay, yeah. So 2 shots versus 2 beers. It's a lot to drink. And then you say, okay, but all right. Let's be fair though. Okay, and we'll play for like a big number, $200. $200. But you gotta let me chug my first beer. Okay. You let me get all the way through my first beer, and as soon as I'm done with that last drop, then you can fire in your 2 shots. I still gotta chug that 1 beer. And most people go, okay, yeah. So as soon as you're done chugging that beer and you see him take that 1 shot, you take that empty glass and you put it over theirs. They can't touch your glass and you can't touch their glass. You take that other beer and you take that $200 and you walk the fuck away.
There you go. Wow. Yeah. There you go. Bar scams.
A lot of them.
Oh, have you seen that happen? Like, did you see that happen in front of your eyes? Like, God, Lee J.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Listen, sometimes there was a time in my life, William, when I was a younger man.
Hey, man.
And I was down to do some stupid shit. I would actually travel from pool hall to pool hall, and I got pretty good at playing in very weird ways. I at one point could run a rack with a bar stool. I've run a rack with a rack with a comb. With my finger. I've done it with the butt end of my pool cue. I've done it with a Bud Light box on my head. I've done it while on someone's back. The other night, I challenged myself. I did the table is lava and shot where I couldn't actually touch the table.
I was a witness to like some of this that you were talking about. Yeah. I was over your house this past weekend, and I was just like, "What the fuck are you doing, Jay?"
So you go someplace and you bet somebody $50. I'll tell you what, I'll bet you $50. We'll play some pool. I'll bet you $50 if we play tables lava. I can't touch the table. Right?
Neither can you.
Well, sometimes. Or sometimes you just shoot that way. But you ask for a heavy handicap that way, right? So you're playing a game of 9-ball. Right. You say, okay, well, I'm gonna play the table's lava, but you gotta give me 5 out. So if I can make the 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, that's considered the 9-ball, which is the money ball. So really, all you gotta do, and 9-ball tends to be a slop. So if you end up slopping shit in, because you can bang shit, it's really it's the easiest way. Or 8-ball scam. Here's another one I've actually run, and I've seen people run. You let people break, and you tell them take four balls off the table. Any 4 balls you want off the table. So people break, and 8-ball more often than not, your average person is going to break what's called dry, where nothing falls. But even if something falls, when they take those 4 balls off the table, more likely all they're really doing is just removing all the mess. So then you shoot, and you make everything because all their shit's out of your way.
Yeah.
But they think,
so you actually have an advantage. Yeah, no, you actually have the advantage.
100%. Because they just got all your shit. All you got to do then is make your balls.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Super easy.
That's a good one. You know, Jay, when I was working customer service, like one of my first jobs, I was working. You remember that furniture place that we worked at? You work in the back, I was working in the front.
Acrylic World.
Yeah, that's the name of it.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
man.
It's amazing you remember shit like that. Fucking Jay.
I got one of those brains, dude.
Anyways.
It doesn't do me any actual good. I can't remember anything actual helpful, but what was that weird furniture store in East Point that we worked at that had replaced the Rite Aid that was there for 700 years?
Yeah.
It was Acrylic World. I'm pretty sure, didn't it burn down?
So let me paint this story for you guys. Jay and I worked at this store that was not far from our house. Jay and I practically lived down the same street, but further down the street. Jay lived way down the street, and I lived further down, like closer to the main road. Society. Yeah, Jay was closer to like more the highway. But anyways, long story short, we both worked at this place called Acrylic World. And it was all this furniture stuff that was made out of plastic. Everything was made out of plastic, but like high-end plastic. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, it looked ugly as fuck. Like, I don't even know like why anybody would buy any of this shit. It was just like ugly tables, ugly furniture, ugly end tables, and then it was like
nobody did buy it.
Point taken. So I worked the front, doing the selling. Jay worked the back, doing the stock, and all of a sudden, one day, this guy walks in, fast talking guy, New York like fucking accent, gives me a $50 bill. Says, "Hey, man, can you bring a $50 bill?" So I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So I open the register and I gave him 2 20s and a 10. And then he's like, "Oh man," he goes, "You only gave me $30." And then he shows me the 20 and the 10, but he fucking pocketed the other 20 really quick. And I didn't know that. And I was like, fuck, right? I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry, my bad. So then I gave him another 20. And then he's like, all right, thanks a lot. The fucking guy just made $20 out of 2 seconds.
Yep. Just like that.
$20, just like that. And I didn't even fucking think about it until after. Well, I didn't even know, but it hit me like a ton of bricks when I was doing the count at the end of the night. Once, I had to do, the count out the drawer and everything, and I'm $20 short. And I'm wondering, oh, what the fuck? How am I $20 short? Then I start realizing, like, oh, that motherfucker got me for an extra $20, and that's exactly what it was. That's like an old school scheme, especially and they make it sound like it's your fault. I'm like, hey man, hey buddy, I just wanted to change back. You only gave me $30. You owe me another 20. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? So they
fuck, I thought I did. My bad.
I thought I did exactly. That's exactly what happened to me, Jay. And the next thing, at the end of the night, I'm $20 short at the end of the night, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, I fucked up, and I know exactly who I fucked up with too. Yeah. So, anyways, that's the shit. Go ahead, Jay.
You want to go back to the old days, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
How about the daily scam I ran, right? So here was my daily. My dad, because he loved me, would allow me to buy Pizza Hut pizza every day, which was $3.50 daily. Back then, it was a lot of money. My dad gave me $5 every day. And what would I do with that $5? Before the bus, I would go to the 7-Eleven and I would buy the Pixie Sticks, which were 2 bags for $1. And I would buy 10 of them. I would then sell them for $1 a piece. I'd make an extra $4, keep a pack of Pixie Sticks for myself. I'd have my fucking pizza and walk away with $1.50 in my pocket. My dad, many years later, found out I ran that scam for all 3 years I was in middle school. My dad's like, so should I calculate the change you owe me? And I was like, I don't think I owe you shit, guy.
Ixnay on the change,
That's
Daddy.
business, old man.
That's right. I cut this deal. You did.
I was one that went to that 7-Eleven and picked up all those
That's
Pixie
right.
Sticks and got those weird looks from that old black lady.
Right. Oh yeah. She was so mean.
She was so mean.
So
Scary
mean.
as fuck, man. But
So mean.
and I always bought it. I always had money. I was never the kid that stole it.
But she made you feel like you were stealing, like when you weren't.
Always.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh, I know. Always.
Yeah. Horrible.
But yeah, that was the scam I ran day in and day out, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. We'll attest. There was always either Pixie Sticks or cash in my bag.
That's right. Oh my God. Well, listen. That was a great wrap up for tonight for scams or art of the scam. Things that you guys should watch out for. We're happy to bring all that information to you. I just want to close out tonight and remind everybody how you can listen to the podcast again. Go to our website, darkfringeradio.com. Make sure you go there and check us out. And please make sure you go to our YouTube. We need some help there on the YouTube. Not getting enough love there. We need some more love at the YouTube. Make sure you go there and like and subscribe to our channel and watch all our videos. We have every episode on there. So make sure you go ahead and check it out. And that's it for the outro. Jay, anything else before we say good night?
Yeah. Friends, actually, it recently has kind of come to light. I've had a couple friends who've lost some friends due to depression. You're never alone. There's always somebody out there. I know it's really hard to talk. Sometimes you feel like you're going to be a burden. But there's other people. There's professionals. There are a lot of ways. I couldn't even begin to tell you. I know there's a lot of ways. Don't give up. I know we've actually put out that number so you can go back in those old texts.
I'll put it up right now. Don't worry. I'm going to put it up right now. Yeah, don't worry.
We'll attach that link. Don't give up. As long as you can make it to tomorrow, you can always turn things around. Always.
There you go. Absolutely, Jay. Absolutely. And if not, try mushrooms. So. Ayahuasca. Hey, we're going to be talking about that ayahuasca pretty soon, Jay. We're going to be talking about, what's his name from fucking Green Bay? Aaron Rodgers. He took that ayahuasca, saw the Black Hat Man, right? Now I keep seeing him everywhere.
That guy's so fucked up, man.
You think he's a mental case now? You think so? That's
so fucked. Oh, bro. I mean, listen. Is he seeing things that probably? Yeah. But is there also probable CTE? Yeah.
Yeah.
Would I want him on my night? Actually,
he's been roughed up pretty much, right? He's been pretty banged up, right?
Man. Yeah. Well, because it's always been him. Just
I don't know. I really haven't followed his career, so. I don't know.
So he's got the one Super Bowl. He's probably one of the most, if not the most naturally gifted quarterback of all time. The talent, the work, he's intelligent, but he's been in Green Bay for his entire career, and they have not given him dick. And he has gotten his ass handed to him many a times, and he's looking for a trade now. So, but he is out there lying about vaccines and shit. Yes, we should talk. Yeah. We should talk about Aaron Rodgers. We should talk about Aaron Rodgers and some of the other athletes who are out there now who are trying to be woke.
Oh yeah, they're talking about all this crazy stuff.
But not.
Oh yeah, exactly, Jay. That's exactly how I feel. That's I couldn't even sum it up. I couldn't even sum it up any better than that because it's exactly right. It's like they want to be something like us, but they're not.
They're not.
They're just not seeing the full picture, and it's really weird. You know what I mean? We'll talk about that in the next episode. But again, everybody, we really appreciate you guys following and keeping with us tonight with our episode. Again, darkfringeradio.com. Check us out there, and that's it. We'll see you guys again next week.